The Galactic Library was one of the quietest places in the entire universe. Its long hallways were filled with tall glowing shelves, each holding thousands of old records, strange devices, and forgotten stories from worlds long gone. But on this day the silence felt different. It felt heavier, like something dangerous was hiding inside the shadows. Ravan, a young alien historian with blue skin and bright silver eyes, walked slowly between the shelves. He was searching for something he could not name. For months he had been studying old warnings left behind by dead civilizations. Most of them were simple notes about diseases, floods, or enemy invasions. But a few warnings were different, mysterious, and filled with fear. Every one of those strange warnings had one thing in common. Humans galactic scholars called humans Deathworlders, a species born on a deadly planet, shaped by storms, predators, diseases, and endless struggle. But humans never acted dangerous. They were friendly, peaceful, and emotional. They worked with the rest of the galaxy. They laughed easily. They cried. They helped. Nothing about them looked dangerous. But if that was true, why did history fear them? Ravan walked deeper into the restricted section. His hands shook as he entered a cold, dark room. Only one file remained inside a glass case. A small metal box with burn marks across its surface. A warning symbol glowed on the front. "Do not open without council permission," Ravan whispered to himself. Why hide this? Why hide anything about the Deathworlders? His curiosity was stronger than his fear. He pressed the release button. The metal box opened with a soft hiss, and a small holographic projector rose from inside. It flickered for a moment, struggling to activate after so many years. Then a single line appeared on the dark wall, written in an old human language. History warns us all. Never force the Deathworlders to reveal their true nature. Ravan's heart beat faster. He had read thousands of warnings, but none felt like this. This one felt alive, like it was speaking directly to him. He took a step back, but then the hologram changed. A video started playing. The image showed a peaceful alien city under a pink sky. Children were running, markets were busy, and ships flew slowly overhead. Everything looked normal, calm, safe. Then the sky turned black. Thunder cracked without clouds. Buildings shook. A deep vibration spread across the land. People screamed and ran, but the video did not show any attacker. No ships, no soldiers, no bombs, just darkness. The city collapsed in seconds. Then the screen went gray. Ravan stared at the frozen image. His breath felt trapped in his chest. What kind of force destroys a whole world like this? He whispered. But the terror wasn't over. A final image appeared. This time it showed humans, hundreds of them, standing silently in a line, their eyes cold and empty. There was no emotion in their faces. No fear, no anger, no pain. They looked awake, different, powerful, like they were not hiding anymore. Then the video ended. Ravan stepped back so quickly that he hit the shelf behind him. The projector shut down, leaving him in darkness. What was that? He whispered. What happened to those humans? Why were they like that? A chill crawled down his spine. He could feel something behind him. He slowly turned. A tall figure stood in the doorway watching him. The figure wore the dark armor of a Galactic Council enforcer. Ravan recognized the symbol instantly. No one from the Council visited the library. Ever. You should not be here, the enforcer said in a cold voice. Ravan tried to speak, but his throat felt dry. I only wanted to study. The file, it was open. I didn't mean, step away from the device, the enforcer said. Ravan's legs shook as he backed away. The enforcer scanned the open box, then looked at Ravan again. Did you watch the file? Ravan hesitated for a second too long. Yes, he whispered. The enforcer closed his eyes for a moment, as if disappointed. Then you already know too much. Ravan felt his heart freeze. Why? What is the meaning of the warning? What are Deathworlders really hiding? The enforcer didn't answer. Instead, he lowered his voice. For thousands of years, the galaxy has lived in peace because humans chose to hide their true nature. They promised to wear a mask of calm, a mask of control, a mask of kindness. Ravan swallowed hard. And if someone forces them to drop that mask, everything will end. Before Ravan could ask more, the enforcer stepped forward. Do not speak of this file to anyone. Not even your own people. Forget what you saw. Ravan nodded slowly, but inside he knew he would not forget. He could not forget. Something inside that video was calling to him. Something ancient and terrifying. As he walked out of the library, the last words of the hologram echoed in his mind. Never force the Deathworlders to reveal their true nature. He felt the air grow colder, because a silent truth was awakening. Something was coming. And Ravan had just taken the first step into a secret the galaxy never wanted him to discover. Ravan did not sleep that night. He sat in his small apartment on the upper levels of the galactic city, staring at the glowing skyline outside his window. Ships moved quietly between tall silver towers. Soft lights floated through the air like fireflies. Everything looked peaceful, almost too peaceful. But Ravan could not stop thinking about what he had seen. A whole city destroyed without a visible enemy. Humans standing in complete silence, emotionless, powerful, terrifying, and the enforcer's warning. If humans drop the mask, everything will end. What mask? What nature? Why was the council hiding the truth? Ravan knew he needed answers. So early in the morning, he traveled to the Galactic Council Hall, the most secure building in the galaxy. Its walls were made of shining crystal metal, shifting colors like liquid light. Thousands of guards, drones, and scanners filled every corner. When Ravan entered, the air felt heavier, as if the building itself knew he didn't belong there. 3 council members were waiting for him. Elder Tovan, a tall insectoid, High Speaker Rule, a reptilian diplomat, and Minister Althira, a calm but powerful telepath. They did not look pleased. Tovan's voice clicked sharply. Historian Ravan, why did you open the restricted file? Ravan tried to keep his voice steady. Because I needed to know the truth. Why is the history of humans, Deathworlders, hidden? Why does the galaxy fear them so much? The room fell silent. Finally, Minister Althira spoke in a soft, controlled tone. We fear them because we understand them. You do not, Ravan stepped forward. Then explain. What was that video? Why did the city fall? Why were humans so... Stop. Rule's tail hit the ground with a sharp crack. You are asking questions that were forbidden for a reason. Ravan felt frustration rise inside him. You cannot expect me to forget what I saw. Those humans were not humans, Tovan interrupted quickly. At least not the humans you know today. Ravan stared at him. What do you mean? Minister Althira folded her hands. Humans hide their real instincts, their real minds, their real potential. That is the mask. A mask they willingly wear to keep the galaxy safe. Ravan frowned. Safe from what? From themselves, Rule whispered. A cold silence filled the room. Ravan could feel fear coming from the council members. Not anger, not annoyance, real fear, he tried again. But the humans I have met, scientists, traders, soldiers, they are normal. Yes, Althira said. Because they choose to be normal. They train themselves to be gentle, controlled, calm. It took thousands of years. But long ago, before the mask, humans were different, Ravan swallowed. Different how? Tovan tapped the table, activating a small display. It showed ancient human settlements, wild storms, giant predators, constant danger. Humans evolved on a death world, Tovan said. Every day of their early life was a fight. Their bodies grew stronger. Their minds learned to adapt. Their instincts sharpened. They became natural survivors. Natural fighters. Natural predators, Ravan whispered. But they don't behave like predators now. That is the mask, Althira said. Ravan felt a shiver run down his arms. So the video I saw was from before the mask? No. Rule leaned forward, voice shaking slightly. It was from the last time they dropped it. The room felt suddenly too small. Ravan took a slow breath. Tell me what happened. Althira closed her eyes. A powerful empire attacked Earth. They underestimated humans. They pushed them too hard. The humans warned the empire to stop. They did not listen, and so, humans stopped pretending to be gentle. Ravan's skin turned cold. What happened to that empire? He asked quietly. Tovan answered without emotion. It no longer exists. Ravan felt his legs weaken. A whole empire destroyed. And now, Althira continued, we work hard to keep humans calm, to keep them peaceful, to keep the mask in place. Ravan pressed his fingers against his forehead. But why hide all this? Why not tell the galaxy the truth? Rule tilted his head. Because panic would spread. Because wars would begin. Because some species would be foolish enough to test humans again. Ravan understood. The galaxy lived in peace because humans chose peace. Not because they were weak, but because they were strong enough to destroy everything, and refused to do so. Ravan's voice lowered to a whisper. So, humans are the most dangerous species in the galaxy? No, Althea shook her head. Humans are the most dangerous species in the galaxy only when forced. Then she leaned forward. And something is happening now. Something disturbing. Ravan's eyes widened. What do you mean? Tovan dimmed the lights and activated a new holoscreen. It showed Earth-human ships. Human bases. Human soldiers preparing. They are being pushed again, Tovan said. Pressured. Watched. Provoked. Ravan stared at the screen. He felt his heart sink. The humans were moving. Slowly. Quietly. But definitely. Althea whispered, We fear the warning will come true once more. Ravan remembered the words on the ancient file. Never force the Deathworlders to reveal their true nature. And now, someone was forcing them. While the Galactic Council struggled with fear and secrets, the situation on Earth was changing quickly. Captain Mira Hayes stood inside the main command room of the Terran Defense Headquarters. She was tall, calm, and focused. Nothing about her looked threatening. Her face was soft, her eyes gentle. She looked like a normal human officer. But every human soldier in the room understood one truth. Mira was only calm because she was choosing to be. The giant screen in front of her displayed a map of human territory. Red signals blinked near the outer colonies. Unusual readings, unknown ships, strange transmissions. Another surveillance drone spotted. One officer reported. Not ours. Alien design, Mira nodded quietly. Which species? We don't know. They masked their signature. The room grew tense. Humans did not mind being watched. They were used to the council monitoring them. But masked surveillance? That was something different. Something dangerous. Mira folded her hands behind her back. Any hostile action so far? Not yet, another officer said. But they are getting closer to our border. Too close. A deep silence filled the room. Everyone knew what this meant. Someone was testing the Deathworlders. Mira breathed slowly, controlling her heartbeat. Every human on this planet learned to control their emotions from childhood. Calmness was discipline. Calmness was safety. Calmness kept the mask in place. A young officer stepped closer. Captain, do you think they know about our history? Mira didn't look at him. Only the council knows. And they keep it buried. But if someone else found out, if someone wants to push us... Mira closed her eyes for a moment. Yes, she said quietly. Then the mask will break. The officer swallowed hard. Across the room, another alert appeared. A hologram of a small mining colony. Colony Vesta 9 flashed red. Unknown ships approaching Vesta 9, the system announced. Distance 600 kilometers. Closing fast, Mira's voice sharpened. Put the colony feed on screen. The image appeared. Workers running inside tunnels, alarms screaming in the background, and a dark shadow of ships moving above the colony dome. Mira leaned forward. That is not a council ship. The shadow ships had sharp wings, glowing red engines, and spiked armor. Their design looked aggressive, built for fear. A hostile species, a rogue faction, someone who did not believe in council rules, and who did not fear humans. Mira's jaw tightened. They are provoking us, she said softly. One soldier whispered, Should we respond? Mira exhaled slowly, steady and controlled. Not yet. As long as they do not attack, we hold. Her voice stayed calm, but inside a storm was building. Every human felt it. Humans hated being pushed. Their instincts, deep, ancient, powerful, always reacted. But they had trained for centuries to control that instinct. To remain peaceful, however. On Vesta 9, something unexpected happened. The rogue ships released small drones, fast, sharp, and unmistakably hostile. They cut into the colony's communication tower. Sparks, smoke, screams. The screen flickered. The workers were hiding behind rocks. Terrified, Mira stepped forward, her mask of calm slowly cracking at the edges. The room felt the temperature shift, like a predator had opened its eyes. Vesta 9, Mira said into the microphone. You are being attacked. Maintain shelter. Reinforcements are ready. A voice answered through static. Captain, they're coming inside. A scream. Gunfire. The signal went dead. The entire command room froze. The mask trembled. Mira's face changed slightly. Not anger. Not fear. Focus, deep, cold focus. The kind humans only used when their survival instincts awakened. She turned to her officers. Activate response protocol Theta. Everyone stared at her. Captain. That protocol, I know what it is, Mira said. Activate it. The officer hesitated. But if we activate Theta, the Council will panic. They will think we are preparing for war. Mira looked him in the eyes, calm but intense. They attacked our people. They crossed the line. And the galaxy knows what happens when that line is crossed. Slowly, the officer nodded. Protocol Theta, activated. Red lights flashed across the command room. Deep underground, massive doors opened. Engines roared to life. Elite human soldiers, silent, disciplined, emotionless, prepared their gear. The same kind of soldiers Ravan saw in the ancient video, the Deathworlders behind the mask. Meanwhile, far across the galaxy, the Galactic Council received an emergency signal. Ravan watched the alert appear on their screen. Vesta 9 colony under attack. Humans have activated Protocol Theta. The council chamber went silent. Elder Tovan whispered with shaking limbs. It has begun. Ravan felt fear rise inside him, because he finally understood someone was pushing the humans into revealing their true nature, and once the mask fell, no one could stop what would come next. The attack on Vesta 9 spread across the galaxy in minutes. The Galactic Council chamber, usually calm and full of quiet voices, was now loud with panic. Screens showed flashing red signals. Drones buzzed overhead. Ambassadors shouted in their own languages, demanding answers, demanding safety. But one question drowned all others. Why did someone attack the humans? Ravan stood near the back of the chamber, watching the chaos. His hands were shaking. The more he learned, the more he wished he had never opened that ancient warning file. Council Elder Tovan hit the table with his staff. Silence. The chamber slowly quieted. He turned to Minister Althira. What do we know? Althira's pale eyes glowed faintly. She was reading dozens of reports at once through her telepathic network. Vesta 9 was attacked by a rogue faction, she said. They are not part of the council. No treaties. No communication. Ravan stepped forward. Do they know what they're doing? Do they know what humans really are? Althira looked at him. No, and that is the most dangerous part. Another hologram flickered to life. It showed the rogue alien ships circling Vesta 9 like hungry beasts. Their weapons glowed. Their drones crawled across the colony dome. They were preparing for a full breach. Speaker Rule hissed softly. Fools, they think humans are weak, Ravan swallowed. What will humans do now? Tovan answered with a trembling voice. Exactly what they warned the galaxy they would do if attacked. The chamber lights dimmed as a new alert appeared. Terran Protocol Theta, fully engaged. Whispers spread like fire. Protocol Theta? Not in centuries. This will destroy everything. Finally, Althira said the words no one wanted to hear. Protocol Theta is the first step toward the Deathworlders dropping the mask. Ravan felt his stomach twist. Back on Earth, Captain, Mira Hayes watched the enemy ships descend on Vesta 9. Her officers stood behind her, silent and pale. The tension inside the command room was like a knife pressing against the air. Have they demanded surrender? Mira asked. No, an officer said. They are not talking at all. They're just attacking. Mira exhaled slowly. This is not a test, she said. This is a trap. A young officer stepped closer. Captain, should we request council assistance? Mira shook her head. No, the council will only delay. They fear us more than the attackers fear us. The officer nodded. Understanding the truth but not liking it, Mira opened a secure channel to the colony. Vesta 9. Come in. Nothing. Static. Silence. Her jaw tightened. The mask she wore of calm peace control shook again. She turned to her tactical team. Prepare the Phoenix Division. Every officer froze. The Phoenix Division was legendary. Not because they were famous, but because they were never used unless humans were ready to do whatever was necessary to survive. Captain, one officer whispered. If the Phoenix Division launches, the galaxy will know. Mira's voice hardened into steel. The galaxy already knows. Someone has chosen to wake the Deathworlders. Vesta 9. The breaking point. The colony was a battlefield. Smoke rose from broken towers. Workers hid in tunnels. Rogue alien soldiers marched through the dust with heavy weapons. Their leader, Commander Threx, stood proudly beside their landed flagship. He laughed as he looked at the burning colony. These humans defend the galaxy? They are weak, afraid, soft. His second-in-command nodded. They hide behind false peace. They hide behind rules, Threx smirked. I will show the galaxy what humans truly are. Nothing. Behind them, a terrified human colonist whispered into a tiny comm device. Earth, we need permission. Static cut his voice, then faintly, Mira's calm voice replied. Granted. The human colonist closed his eyes. They all felt it. A shift, a pulse in the air, the mask breaking. The council watches in horror in the council chamber. An enormous hollow screen lit up. A live feed from Vesta 9 appeared. Althira gasped softly. Ravan's heart thundered in his chest, because the humans stepping out of their landing ship did not move like the humans he had seen before. Their eyes were cold. Their faces were blank. Their movements were silent, precise, deadly. Not angry, not loud, not emotional, just focused, like predators who had finally stopped pretending. Rule whispered, It is too late. The Deathworlders have dropped the mask. The chamber shook as the first human strike began. Soldiers moved like shadows. Weapons hummed with terrifying energy. The rogue faction didn't even see them coming, Ravan whispered in fear. This is what the warning was about. Tovan nodded. His voice was broken. Yes. And the galaxy has forgotten that when Deathworlders fight, they do not fight to win. Althira finished the sentence. They fight to end the threat. Completely, the screen flashed white. The battle had begun. The mask was gone, and nothing would ever be the same again. The strike on Vesta 9 was not a battle. It was a shift, a change in the air, as if something ancient had opened its eyes. The Phoenix Division walked through the burning dust with calm steps. No shouting, no anger, no fear. Every movement was controlled, focused, almost too quiet. In the Galactic Council chamber, ambassadors stared at the screen with wide, frightened eyes. The room was silent now. No one argued. No one moved. They were watching history. They were watching humans stop pretending. Even Ravan, who always defended humans, felt cold inside. He whispered, Is this their real nature? Council Elder Tovan answered without looking away from the screen. No, this is not their real nature. This is their hidden nature. On Vesta 9, Commander Threx watched the approaching humans with a smirk. They send only 10 soldiers? He laughed. This is an insult, his second-in-command growled. Permission to attack them, sir? Threx lifted his weapon. Permission granted. Kill them! A group of rogue aliens charged forward, shouting battle cries. The Phoenix Division did not even raise their voices. One human stepped forward, Lieutenant Kara. Her armor was pure matte black, no symbols, no rank. She spoke in a calm tone. Last warning, withdraw. The rogue aliens laughed. Or what, Terran? Kara blinked once and then, movement. Fast. Silent. Perfect. The aliens never saw how she moved. One moment she stood in place, the next moment 2 of the attackers were already on the ground. Weapons shattered. No wasted motion. No hesitation. No anger. Threx stepped back, confused. What are they? Kara spoke again. We are Deathworlders. We survived our own planet. Do not make us show you why. But Threx shouted, Fire! All units, fire! Hundreds of plasma shots flew toward the humans. The Phoenix Division split like shadows. They didn't dodge like normal soldiers. They flowed, bending under beams, turning sideways, stepping between shots with unnatural precision. Ravan watched from the council chamber. His voice was shaking. They move like predators, like animals from Deathworld forests, Tovan whispered. No, Ravan. Animals move with instinct. Humans move with calculation. Earth Command Captain Mira Hayes watched the battle from her command room. She didn't smile. She didn't look proud. She looked sad. Are you sure you want to continue Phoenix Protocol? Her officer asked. Mira closed her eyes. When someone attacks us, they don't just start a war, she said softly. They wake up a part of humanity we try hard to keep asleep. Her voice lowered. And once it wakes, it does not fall asleep easily. She turned to her communications officer. Send message to the Galactic Council. We did not start this, but we will finish it. The turning point back on Vesta 9, Threx roared in frustration. Why won't they fall? They are only humans. Kara stepped closer to him, her boots silent on the broken ground. We tried peace, she said. We tried diplomacy. We let the galaxy think we were harmless. She reached up and removed her combat visor. Under it, her eyes glowed with cold determination. But we did not forget who we really are. Threx aimed his weapon at her. His hands were shaking. What are you? He shouted. Kara leaned forward slightly. We are the children of a death world. We learned to kill long before we learned to speak. Threx fired. Kara moved. And the battle ended in seconds. The camera feed cut to black. The Council's horror ambassadors were trembling. Some covered their eyes. Others whispered prayers. Ravon stared at the blank screen. He understood now. All those years, humans had worn a mask for the galaxy. A mask of peace. A mask of softness. A mask of control. But now the mask had cracked. Althera spoke, voice cold with fear. The rogue attackers. They never understood the truth, Tavan answered. No one understands. Not really, Rule whispered. The Deathworlders warned us centuries ago. If attacked, they will not fight to win. Althera finished the ancient phrase with trembling lips. They will fight to end the threat completely. And as the lights dimmed in the chamber, everyone realized the same terrifying thought. This was only the beginning. The council chamber was silent. No one breathed. No one spoke. The screen showed only static, but even the empty noise felt heavy, like the whole galaxy had stopped to think. Finally, Ambassador Rule stood with shaking legs. We must stop them, he whispered. Tovan glared at him. Stop humans? With what army? No one answered, because they all understood the truth. Every army in the galaxy feared humans. And humans had just stopped fearing anyone. Aftermath on Vesta 9 smoke rose from the battlefield. The ground was torn and blackened. Broken weapons and shattered armor lay everywhere. The Phoenix Division walked through the ruins with slow, steady steps. Their armor carried scorch marks, but none of them looked tired. None looked unsure. Kara stopped beside Commander Threx's broken weapon. She placed it gently on the ground, almost like a sign of respect. A new voice came from the communicator in her helmet. Phoenix Division. Extraction incoming. Copy, Kara replied. Her voice was calm, but her eyes held something deeper, something the galaxy had not seen in a long time. Human instinct. Human rage. Human decision. She turned to her team. This is not the end, she said. Earth Command will want answers. They nodded silently, because they understood. When humans showed their true nature, wars did not slow down, they evolved. Inside Earth Command, Captain Mira Hayes watched as multiple reports flashed on her screen. Alien factions panicking. Border forces withdrawing. Entire systems going silent in fear. Some even requesting peace immediately. The galaxy was reacting fast. Her officer spoke. Captain, the Council demands a full explanation. Mira shook her head. They don't want an explanation, she muttered. They want reassurance. But can we reassure them? The officer asked. Mira did not answer, because she did not know. She looked out through the window at the dark sky over Earth. The stars felt closer than usual, like they were watching. We tried peace, she whispered. We really did. Galactic Council emergency meeting. Every seat in the chamber was full. Ambassadors sat stiff and pale, their eyes still wide with fear. A giant hollow screen showed a paused image of Kara, her visor off, her eyes calm and sharp. Rule spoke first. This is the real danger. Not human weapons, not their armies, he pointed at the image. This mind, this focus, this cold control. Tovan added, humans do not attack without reason, but when they do not stop. Althera leaned forward. We must decide what the Council will do. Ravon suddenly stood. I will not support any attack on Earth, he said loudly. Humans defended themselves. They warned us many times, Rule bristled. Are you choosing Earth over the Council? I am choosing truth, Ravon replied. The chamber erupted in noise, voices shouting and echoing. But deep inside, everyone knew the same thing. The Council was afraid. and fear made leaders dangerous. Whispers in the galaxy, every corner of space was now filled with rumors. The humans killed an entire army in minutes. They moved like shadows. They smiled while fighting. They are Deathworlders. Real ones, not myths. The mask is gone, alien worlds locked down their borders. Fleets gathered near their planets. Some prepared defenses, others prepared surrender. One alien broadcaster said on a public channel, "If Earth decides to fight, every planet will feel it." Another answered, "If Earth decides to stop, the galaxy will pray harder." Humanity speaks, a message went out across the stars. Simple, calm, human. Earth is not your enemy. But we will not hide anymore. We will not wear masks to comfort our neighbors. If you strike us, we will strike back harder. This message reached every system. Some planets felt a chill. Some felt respect. Some felt both. Ravan watched the message end. He whispered, "This is not a threat. This is a warning." Tovan nodded. And history has already taught us. Warnings from Deathworlders should never be ignored. The final trigger as the council debated. A sudden alarm echoed in the chamber. Red lights flashed. A robotic voice announced, "Unknown fleet approaching Galactic Council space. Strength. Overwhelming. Origin." Earth, the ambassadors froze. No one moved. No one spoke. Ravan grabbed the rail of his platform. "This cannot be happening," he whispered. But it was happening. Earth was coming, and the galaxy felt something it had not felt in centuries. The fear of a real Deathworld species. The alarm kept ringing in the Galactic Council chamber. Red lights flashed across every wall, turning the room into a field of panic. Ambassadors were shouting, trying to understand what was happening, but the report was already clear. A massive fleet was approaching. And it was human. Tovan's voice shook. "How many ships?" The scanner officer replied, trembling. "Too many, and they are not hiding their signal. They want us to know they are coming." Ravan felt his chest tighten. Humans were not coming quietly. They were coming openly. That was far more terrifying. The human fleet arrives outside the Council's homeworld. Thousands of ships slipped out of hyperspace. They were silent, perfectly aligned, their hulls dark like shadows, lit only by blue pulse engines. They did not fire. They did not raise shields. They simply stood there, waiting. Captain Mira Hayes appeared on the Council's main screen. Calm and collected. "This is Earth Command," she said. "We are here for one reason." Every ambassador held their breath. Mira continued. "Someone attacked us. Someone tried to provoke humanity. We will not allow another war." Rule shouted nervously. "This is intimidation. You surround our capital." Mira's face didn't change. "No," she said. "If we wanted war, this conversation would not exist." Those simple words hit harder than any weapon. The truth comes out. Ravan stepped forward on his platform. "Captain Mira." "Who attacked you?" Mira nodded. "A rogue faction. Not the Council. Not any official world. But they operated inside your territory. They murdered civilians. They tried to test us." Tovan swallowed hard. "What do you want from us?" Mira looked at them with steady eyes. "Honesty, transparency, and accountability." Her voice was firm but not angry. "Humans are done pretending to be weak. We will not wear masks to make others feel safe, but we also do not wish for war." Her tone lowered, almost calm. "We want respect, nothing more." The chamber went silent. Because they all understood humans were not asking. Humans were declaring. Council's decision. After minutes of intense debate, the Council elder spoke. "We will identify the rogue faction. We will hand them over. Earth will have full rights to defend itself. And we will form a new treaty, with no illusions." The final words were heavy. "We accept the Deathworlders as they are. Not the mask. Not the soft version. Not the galaxy-friendly version. The real humans." Earth's response, Mira nodded. "Then the human fleet will stand down." Outside, the massive ships slowly adjusted formation. Weapons powered off. Their engines dimmed. The message was clear. Earth could shake the galaxy, but chose not to. Ravan's realization. When the hologram faded, Ravan stayed still for a long time. He finally whispered, "Now I understand why history warned us." Tovan asked, "Warned us of what?" Ravan answered, Do not push Deathworlders to reveal their true nature, because when they do not destroy. They define the future. He looked out at the stars, where the human fleet began to move away. And the galaxy, he said softly, is lucky they chose peace. Final scene, Earth back on Earth. Captain Mira walked out onto the balcony of Earth Command. She looked at the sky, watching the stars where her ships returned home. She spoke quietly to herself. We showed them who we are. Not monsters, not weaklings, not masks, she smiled faintly. Just humans. The wind blew softly across the balcony. Below her, Earth's lights kept shining, bright, alive, unbroken, and across the galaxy one unshakable truth spread. The Deathworlders had revealed their true nature, and the galaxy would never forget it.